William Somerset Maugham, born on January 25, 1874, in Paris, France, was one of the most successful English writers of the 20th century. His life was filled with personal challenges and world travel, all of which influenced his writing. He is best known for his novels, short stories, and plays, and his work continues to be read and appreciated around the world today. Maugham had an incredible ability to understand the human condition, which helped him create deeply realistic characters, explore complicated relationships, and explore the complexities of emotions. Maugham's early years were marked by tragedy and upheaval. His father, a lawyer, died when Maugham was just 10 years old, leaving his mother a widow. After his father's death, Maugham and his siblings were sent to live with their uncle and aunt in England. His mother was never able to fully care for him, and their relationship remained distant. Growing up in an unfamiliar country, Maugham faced feelings of isolation and sadness. This experience of loss and alienation deeply shaped his understanding of human suffering and is reflected in many of his works, where characters are often struggling with their place in the world and their own personal turmoil. Maugham's education began in England, where he attended King's School in Canterbury. Despite his difficult childhood, he managed to excel academically and went on to study medicine at St. Thomas' Hospital in London. Though he became a qualified doctor, Maugham never actually practiced medicine. Instead, he used his medical background as a stepping stone to enter the world of writing. While studying, he wrote short stories and plays, and his work was soon being noticed by a small but growing circle of literary critics. Maugham always believed that the study of medicine helped him understand people better, and it gave him insight into the complexities of human behavior, something that would become vital in his writing. His early works, however, did not bring him success. But in 1915, Maugham published Of Human Bondage, his semi-autobiographical novel about a young man named Philip Carey who struggles with self-doubt, love, and identity. The novel, which is widely considered Maugham's masterpiece, was an enormous success. It captured the complexity of human emotion and the pain that comes with personal growth and self-realization. The character of Philip was based on Maugham's own life experiences, and the novel explores themes of love, loneliness, and the search for meaning in life. Of Human Bondage had a profound impact on readers and critics alike. The novel's powerful narrative and deep psychological insights made it a classic of modern literature. Maugham's writing style was simple yet elegant, and he was praised for his ability to write about difficult subjects with clarity and honesty. The novel's success also made Maugham a well-known figure in the literary world. His fame grew, and soon, he was not just a novelist, but also a successful playwright and short story writer. His works began to appear in magazines, and he was even invited to speak at literary events. Maugham's writing often reflected his own personal experiences. Throughout his life, he traveled widely, and his novels and short stories are filled with vivid descriptions of the places he visited. In the early 1920s, Maugham spent time in the United States, where he wrote a collection of short stories called The Casuarina Tree. He also spent time in the Pacific Islands, where he wrote The Moon and Sixpence, another of his best-known works. The novel was inspired by the life of the French artist Paul Gauguin, and tells the story of a man who gives up a successful career to pursue his passion for painting in the South Pacific. Through this story, Maugham explored the tension between personal ambition and the expectations of society. Maugham's travels also influenced his works about colonial life, particularly in Asia. His time spent in Malaysia and Singapore gave him a unique perspective on the colonial system, and he wrote several stories set in these regions, including The Letter and Rain. These stories examine the lives of people living in colonial societies and the difficult choices they face, often involving themes of morality, deception, and betrayal. In addition to his novels and short stories, Maugham was a successful playwright. Some of his most well-known plays include The Circle, 1921, The Letter, 1927, and The Breadwinner, 1930. His plays were often well received by audiences and critics alike, and many were staged in London's West End and on Broadway in New York City. Maugham's plays were known for their sharp dialogue, engaging plots, and keen observations of human nature. In fact, The Letter was later made into a film, and its themes of infidelity and revenge were widely praised. Despite his success, Maugham was not universally loved. Some critics dismissed his work as overly commercial and lacking depth. They argued that his writing was too focused on the surface-level details of life, without exploring deeper philosophical or moral questions. Others criticized his personal life, with some accusing him of being too cynical or even arrogant. Nevertheless, Maugham's popularity continued to grow, and he became one of the most widely read and financially successful writers of his time. Maugham was known for his keen observations of human nature. His characters were often complex and flawed, struggling with personal desires, social pressures, and moral dilemmas. His writing reflected a deep understanding of the human condition and the ways in which people can be both selfish and selfless, noble and petty. Maugham was able to create characters that were both relatable and unpredictable, making his stories compelling and emotionally resonant. One of the recurring themes in Maugham's work was the idea of personal sacrifice. Many of his characters were willing to sacrifice their own happiness and desires in order to please others or fulfill societal expectations. This theme can be seen in Of Human Bondage, where Philip Carey sacrifices his own well-being to pursue a toxic love affair, or in The Moon and Sixpence, where the protagonist sacrifices everything to follow his artistic dreams. Maugham was fascinated by the idea of sacrifice and the ways in which people struggle to find balance in their lives. Throughout his career, Maugham remained a frequent traveler, and his books were deeply influenced by the many different cultures he encountered. His experiences in places like the United States, the Far East, and the South Pacific enriched his writing and gave him a unique perspective on the world. Even as Maugham became more famous and wealthy, he continued to write about people from all walks of life, from the highest classes to the poorest. His writing is a testament to his belief that all human beings, no matter their background, share the same basic desires, fears, and struggles. In his later years, Maugham became more reclusive. He lived much of his life in the south of France, where he enjoyed a quiet life away from the public eye. Despite this, he continued to write, though his output slowed down. His later works were often reflective in nature, and he began to focus more on personal experiences rather than larger societal themes. Maugham passed away on December 16, 1965, at the age of 91. Today, Maugham is remembered as one of the greatest English writers of the 20th century. His works remain popular for their insightful exploration of human nature, their sharp wit, and their emotional depth. His novels, short stories, and plays continue to inspire readers and writers alike, and his legacy as a master of storytelling is firmly established. Through his unique ability to create memorable characters, convey emotional depth, and comment on society's moral complexities, William Somerset Maugham secured his place as one of the most important writers of his time. He is remembered not only for his literary accomplishments, but for his ability to create works that speak to the universal human experience.